What's going on? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics, and up next, we just got back a big submission from CGC, and we're going to go over those books. I have not checked the grades. We'll see how I did on those grades, and then at the end of the video, we're also going to look at the approximate values of these books. So let's check these out. So before we get started, please remember to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. So this is the second part of that large CGC magazine submission that I did. A bunch of Vampirella books, and this is part of a collection that I bought earlier this year. Picked that collection up from Flip Mode Comics on Instagram, and it's just, I've talked about this in the other videos, just an incredible collection. It's from an original owner, kept them in great condition. None of them were boarded, but they were just put in these old bags that were all yellowed and everything when I got them. So I couldn't really tell the condition until I got each book out of those bags. So that was fun. I re-released that video recently, so if you want to go check that one out and see the original collection when I picked it up, you can go see those books raw there, and then come over and check these videos out and see the books graded. So far, been pretty happy with my submission, and so I'm hoping that it continues through, with these books. And all of them were sent off to the comic book presser. That's my presser that I use before they were graded by CGC. I've talked about this in all of these videos. I definitely recommend that unless the book is incomplete or it's like super low grade, so you don't think it can, improve anything with a press, I recommend getting your books pressed and cleaned before you get them graded. It just helps you ensure that you're getting the most value with your book. So let's start with these. I had said in that prior video that the next book up, because I'm just filming these one after another, I changed my hat so I could easily identify it when I was going through videos. The next book up should be issue number 11, which is a Frazetta cover, and it is probably my favorite cover from at least these first 50 issues, the ones that were part of this collection. So I'm hoping that's what this one is. So I'm going to bring the book down from here. I've got my grade estimates written down in front of me. And yes, this is issue number 11. I've got my grade estimates written down in front of me. We'll talk about the book, talk about my grade estimate, and we'll see how I did. Undergraded, overgraded, all that kind of stuff. So I just think this is such a cool cover. I mean, one, I love the color of the title, Vampirella there, but it's such a great character. It's kind of like this, call it like a good girl art version of like the Grim Reaper almost. It's got this like creepy iguana thing in the front there. It is just an awesome cover. I really like this one. So I had this one as a 9 to a 9.2. Depending on the grade this book gets, I was thinking about, is there any book from this collection that I might want to keep? And it might be this one. But it depends what the grade is. So let's see. Oh man. Yeah, 9.4. And white pages. I don't know. I mean, this is probably a really pricey book too. That's what makes it tough, because that's one of the ways that you can get the value out of the collection. But man, a 9.4 white pages of this book, I may end up setting this one aside for a while. We'll see. We'll see what I do with it. But yeah, very happy with that. That started off better than my last video, where I had a pretty big disappointment. But I am. That is awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing what that goes for. All right, so the next one should be issue number 12. Nope. Oh, no, because I think 12 was in the other one. So, yeah, I had a separate box. It came in two boxes. There were 20 in one and 2 in another, and there were 2 random ones, and one of them was issue 12. So, and the other was 16. So then this is 17 here. I sent this one in just because I think this is an awesome cover, and it was super high grade. I had this one as a 9.2 to a 9.4. I feel like it has a Frazetta look. It is not a Frazetta cover, but it has this Frazetta look, and I just feel like this book does not go for enough. It has to be high grade to be worth it. But yeah, I had this one as a 9.2 to a 9.4. Let's see how we did. Whew, man, 9.6. That is the highest grade I've gotten back so far in all of these videos. I've gotten a few 9.4s, including that issue number 11. I knew this one was nice. I mean, that's what I said. That's why I sent this one in. 9.6. But I mean, such a killer cover. I mean, you got the wolf and all the skulls, and you got the good girl art type stuff on the front, and whatever, these like creepy hands, which I don't know if those are from the wolf or what. But yeah, really high grade copy of this book. A 9.6, off-white to white pages. Oh, and there's the back cover there. So, I mean, and that red isn't going to hide anything. I mean, if there's flaws, they're going to show. And this is an incredible copy. 9.6. I've got my my phone here so I can scan. I'm curious what the census is like for this book. Because, yeah, 9.6, I mean, it's a high grade. So there are 13 in a 9.6 and 8 higher. So probably 8 9/8. I'm assuming there are no 9.9s. But, yeah, very high grade of this book. And yeah, that's awesome. That's cool. All right. So the next one should probably be 18 then. Is it 18? Yeah, 18. So in the last video, I showed issue 16, which is the first appearance of Dracula in the Vampirella title. This is the second appearance of Dracula in the Vampirella title. So I had this one as a 9.2. 9.4. Awesome. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's incredible. Like, these books are in such great condition. And I mean, I've said this over and over, like, they were not like stored in a way like you would normally think would get these types of conditions, just stacked on one another, you know, no boards. But I mean, I believe that's how like Edgar Church stored his from the Mile High pedigree, like just stacked on, you know, on one another. And so, yeah, if you just keep them there, they stay in pretty good condition. You don't move them around or anything. But 9.4 white pages. Back cover. Awesome. Yeah. Obviously, very happy with that. All right. So that means next should be issue number 19. Yeah, issue number 19. I just sent this one in because it tends to have a little more value. I think it's part of it is because it has a lot of these of the early Frazetta covers on there, like issue number 1, issue number 8, issue 11 there, and I think that's not a Frazetta, but that's issue number 4, and then, you know, and a number of the ones that I sent in. So I had this one. What was this? This is 19. I had this one as an 8.5. I got a 9.0. I think I had this 8.5, right? Yeah, 8.5 and got a 9.0. So that's great. Yeah, very happy with that. Always happy to get, you know, something that's a little better than my estimate. So awesome. Yeah. I feel like that one was one that was probably, I mean, it was a closer to, is it worthwhile to submit type book, but I know that's a pretty popular cover, pretty popular issue. And so decided to send it in. All right. So next should be issue number 20. Yes. All right. Issue number 20. Part of the reason I sent this one in, one, that, I mean, had it as 8.5 to a 9. Almost anything I felt like was going to had a chance at the 9s I was sending in. But I really like the styling of this cover. I don't think any other ones really had this like yellow bordering to it. So something unique to this one. And kind of you got the standard Vampirella stuff. You've got some type of ghoul or whatever on the cover, and the attractive woman on the cover. But yeah, issue number 20. I did an 8.5 to a 9. Whoa, nice. 9.4. Awesome. And there's the back cover where it's, I mean, it looks really nice. And so I say, I mean, yep, got to get your books pressed and clean first. Give yourself the best possible chance at getting the best grade that you can. 9.4. Awesome. And yeah, that looks incredible. Great looking book. All right, really happy about that one. So 9.4, that's great. All right, so next is issue 28. So that's a big gap there because 20 through, I remember like 20 through 27, I think they were all kind of like in the 8.0 range, 8 to 8.5, and it just really wasn't worth it to send those in. It's the type of thing where it's like if they get that grade and they're worth like $60 or $70, it's almost what it costs to get everything pressed, cleaned, graded, shipped, and all of that. So this one, issue number 28, I sent in because I thought it was a pretty high grade. I had it as a 9 to a 9.2. Again, pretty standard, you know, some type of monster down here on the cover, attractive woman on the cover. Let's see how we did. Oh man, 9.6 again. Another 9.6. All right, I gotta check that one too. I gotta know where that is on the census. Let's see. Because yeah, I do not have the census for these memorized. So 9.6. Oh, this ties is the top of census book. There are 7 copies in a 9.6, 0 higher. So actually the top of census book and a white pages copy, that's awesome. I think of all the ones I've gotten in so far, that is the only top of census book that I'm aware of. So that's incredible. I don't know if there's a lot of value to it, you know, at the top of census, but still, that's awesome. I'm obviously very happy about that. That's incredible. And yeah, and that, I mean, like, in that back cover, I mean, all that black there, it's not gonna show flaws, or it's not gonna hide flaws. So, all right, that's great. All right, so let's see. Next is issue number 30. I don't remember which issue this is. Yeah, again, one that's just a lot of black on that cover. I had this one as an 8 to an 8.5. I don't know if there's something key about this one or not. First appearance of Pantha. So there is a first appearance in this one. But 8 to an 8.5. 8.5. All right, so upper end of my range on this one. And some, you know, kind of like minor Vampirella type first appearance on it. Just the back cover. Yeah, so. Oh, and it has, that's cool. It has this Luana appearance here, which I think like her first appearance is the next issue, issue 31. So, and which I did submit. So here we've got, should hopefully be the next one since they've all been in order. So the next one, issue 31. Yes, so this is that I believe it's the first appearance of Luana. This is a Frazetta cover. So you don't really have any Frazetta covers for a while in the run, but this one is I don't know if he has his name on it or not. Usually he does, but for some reason I don't think he has his signature on this one. But it is a Frazetta cover, I know that. I had this one as an 8 to an 8.5. 9.2, nice. Yeah, I mean, anytime I can get, I mean, like some type of like a key issue, because you don't have keys too often in the Vampirella run. So I can get a key issue and a Frazetta cover, grade better than I thought it was going to be. 9.2 white pages. Yeah, I mean, that looks great. Also, I don't remember that. Maybe they've always been like that. I don't know if that's new. I have to check. I'm going to check some. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to pull this book from here. Is that new? It is. I hadn't seen that before. Maybe I missed it on the other ones and I'm just catching it now. So if you look at the label, I don't know if you'll be able to make it out, but behind the grade, it's just white. It's just solid white. But these have these little like CGC, almost like, I don't know if they're holograms or not, or if it's just in the ink, but let's see if it'll come out. I don't know if it'll come out on the picture or not. If it doesn't, I'll take a picture and like stick it up over here because I think it looks cool. I like that little like CGC in there in the grade. I bet they started doing that to maybe, again, it's one of these things to try to probably prevent fraud. You know, people like printing labels and things that are fakes. But yeah, that's cool. I like I said, I'll take a picture of it and throw that up there because I had not noticed that before. I'm going to check other books I recently got back. It's like, that's the first time I've noticed that. Looks cool. Let's see. I'm just trying to get it to show up on camera if I can, but it feels like it's maybe getting washed out with the light. Yeah, 9.2 white pages. Awesome. All right. So if they're in order, next one should be 33. And I had this one as a pretty big range as well. I don't remember why. I had this one as an 8.0 to a 9.2. Like I talked about this in the other video. There's some books I had some pretty big ranges because there were flaws. I just didn't know if they'd come out or not. But yeah, this is issue 33, 8.0 to a 9.2. Got 8.5, so closer to the lower end. So it might not be worth it. I know that these ones in kind of like that type of grade, it's not quite as worth it. I think it was, I don't remember if this was why or not. Like if I didn't know if these were production or not, these like scratches back here, because otherwise it's a pretty nice book. Might be fingerprints. Oh yeah, that's it. I had that, I don't remember if that was the other video. I think it was the other video. I had a book that I thought was really high grade, but it had some fingerprints on it, and the fingerprints really hurt the grade. And you can see those same things here. You see those fingerprints there. And that's one of the things I'll kind of do is like submit a book just to test it, to see what type of grade I'll end up getting. And let's see if they can check the grader's notes, and we'll see if they mention those fingerprints. Light creasing to cover, light fingerprints to cover, light spine stress lines to cover. So yes, they called out those fingerprints. That other one also got an 8.5 with light fingerprints. So I think that's probably what really hurt this book. And yeah, you know, you only really know for sure when you do these submissions. You can get like that CGC grader's guide, but I find experience submitting is much more useful than trying to read it or interpret it from that book. So yeah, just something that I'm going to take away from this, that if I see fingerprints like that, I'll think probably the max I can get is probably around an 8.5, because I've had some really nice books that's the grade they've been getting with those fingerprints on there. All right, so we got 2 books left. Next one, I sent this one in just because I thought it was a really cool cover. So it's also, I think, a first appearance. So this is Vampirella number 36. Now, this is this like gold foil cover. So, you know, everybody loves the foils. Everybody talks about foils now. This is this gold foil cover. I had this one as an 8.0. The big reason was I didn't know what could be fixed on it. I wasn't sure how well it would take a press. And actually, after I sent it off to my presser, he messaged me specifically about this book. He said he tried a whole bunch of different things, you know, a bunch of different pressing methods and methods to try to clean this up because of it being this foil. And so he just wanted to let me know that he had put a lot of work into this one because it wasn't reacting to the different presses the way the other books were because of that foil. So I had it as an 8.0. Let's see how we did. I think like that's the biggest surprise. That yeah, like if you watch my prior video, because I've watched that one recently, because when I put it out again, you could like in the light you could see all the problems on the spine, and they look really good now. That cleaned up well, and that's what I say. That's what you want to send to see, like. That's the difference with sending to a third-party presser that does this type of work and sending it to something like CGC. Like CGC, typically they're going to do like one press and move on. You know, whereas like with this, you know, he's like, I tried multiple different pressing techniques and different things to try to make it work with this, you know, this foil. And that results in a book that I thought would probably get an 8.0, getting a 9.4. And I don't know what a 9.4 goes for, but I'm guessing just, you know, that added probably a few $100s in value alone, you know, just from that work. And I'm going to look up the values after this and we'll see, but yeah, I mean, awesome. And let's see, is it so for, yeah, it's the first blood red Queen of Hearts. So that's, there is kind of like a first appearance thing on it, but a 9.4, I want to know how that, like where that is on the census too. Cause I don't know if this is a tougher book because of the foil. And like the back cover, I mean, the back cover is like got all this black on it. So in a 9.4, there are 9 and only 8 higher. So let's see what like how many 9.6s and 9.8s there are. So there are 9 9.4s, 6 9.6s, and 2 9.8s. So this is a really nice copy of this book. That's awesome. So yeah, he put a lot of work into it and it showed up in that grade. I'm very, very happy with that. So that means the last book that is in here was one that I didn't even know was part of this collection. This was this Vampirella annual from 1972. And I remember when I was going through all the books, this one came out because basically when I bought the collection, they went through all the Vampirellas, and then they said there was Eries from this issue to this issue and Creepies from this issue to this issue, and then the Star Treks, and then they're like, and some other books. And so I didn't even know this one was in there. And then when I was going through it, I was like, this is a really nice book. So this is Vampirella Annual NN. I had it as a 9 to a 9.2. I believe, and I think it's on the label for this one, it's like this was supposed to be the original cover for issue number 1. Then they ended up having Frank Frazetta do the cover, and so then they, you know, use this for this annual instead. So this is a square bound book, and yeah, I had it as a 9 to a 9.2. Let's see how we did. Oh, God. But like for a book I didn't even know was in there, a 9.6. Then that's closing this out with a 9.6. How many did I have? The 3? I think there were 3 9.6s that I had in this. I think they were all in this video because I'm filming these back to back. So I'm trying to remember. I think they're all in this video. I had 3 9.6s. That is awesome. Man, that one I am definitely checking where this book is on the census. I mean, I don't know. I doubt there are very many up there. Oh yeah. So there are, including this book, there are 2 9.6s, 1 higher. And I'm assuming it's a 9.8. Let's see. Yes. There are 12 9.4s, just 2 9.6s, and 1 9.8. So before I sent this in, there was only 1 9.6. So, I mean, I'm interested to see what the values are on this. Like, this could be like one of the best surprises of this whole collection. I mean, a 9.6. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, obviously a very nice copy of this book. The staples are on the interior, so that's where you have this little bit of rub from that staple. But yep, that is a super clean copy of this book. I mean, sharp edges, sharp corners, everything. Back cover has this yellow. Oh man, 9.6. All right, so that's the last book of this video. But now I'm going to, you know, stop the camera. I'm going to go look up values for these. I am really interested in some of the values of these. Look up values for these, and then I'll come back. It'll be, you know, like I've said in the other videos, it'll be seconds for you. It'll be many minutes for me while I look these up, and we'll see how we did on these books.
A few moments later.
All right, so we are back. I'm just going to go in reverse order for these, but I'm actually going to save that annual for the end because that one is exciting. So let's check out these books. And first one here, we've got the Vampirella number 36 in a 9.4. The one I talked about, that presser put a ton of work into this one because it was a different style of cover, you know, these foil covers. And so in a 9.6, this is, or sorry, 9.4, this is a $425 book. And so, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That is the added value that you can get from getting your books pressed and cleaned first. You know, a book that I thought would probably get an 8.0, go for around maybe $100 or $150 maybe, instead getting a 9.4, $425. So that's the first one. Awesome. All right. Next book here. This one, not as great. So an 8.5 of issue number 33. I have this one at $80. So this is one that it's kind of like treading that line of if it's worthwhile to send in or not. It's still, you know, a little bit, but not all that much. So I have it, you know, $80 for an 8.5 of issue number 33. Then we've got issue number 31, one of the keys from this run. It's a Frazetta cover, and yeah, I think, yeah, Frank Frazetta cover and first appearance of Luana. Now, they don't say it on here, but I'm almost certain this is the first appearance of Luana. It says Luana cover and story, but I was almost certain that this is her first appearance. But regardless, in a 9.2, I have this one at $275. So, you know, definitely a cool book. Has some definite value at, you know, at a 9.2. Then we've got issue number 30. This is that first appearance of Pantha in an 8.5. This is a $150 book. I mean, a really solid presenting copy. I think maybe there's some issues on the back or something with this one. I don't remember exactly. Actually, you know, we can check the grader's notes for this one. See what See what CGC says. See, I don't remember exactly what... Oh, I think I can see some creasing there in the back. But it says light creasing to cover, light spine stress lines to cover. So I'm sure there's some creasing somewhere. But, oh, that's right. That's what it was. It was... This one had more damage to this section of the spine than the other books. You know, it was like some more definite color breaks and kind of some little tears and things. I remember that now. So yeah, 8.5. All right. Then we have 28, the one that is tied for the top of census for this book. So this one, for I have it $335. So, I mean, that's a big deal, because at the price, at the grade that I thought it was, like a 9 to a 9.2, probably $125 book, something like that. But at a 9.6, $335. Now it's not, you know, some crazy number because it's top of census. It's still, you know, it's like, it's Vampirella number 28. But yeah, I mean, a lot of added value there. You know, let's talk about that. Get your books pressed and clean first, and give yourself the best shot at those higher grades. All right, now issue number 20 in a 9.4. This one is $225. So again, not a ton of value. I mean, that's one of the things that's I think is kind of cool about this run. Like, you could put together a really high grade run of Vampirella and you wouldn't have to spend like a fortune to do it. I mean, you've got a 9.4, $225 for issue number 20, and a cool cover. I mean, yeah, you've got some cool covers in these, and you can get some high grades for some pretty reasonable prices. All right, then we've got issue number 19. This is, it kind of feels like an annual, even though it's not, just where you've got all these different covers on there. But a 9.0 is about $125. So again, another one of those books that's kind of threading that, you know, that line of, is it worthwhile to send in or not? But, you know, 9.0, $125. And again, that just proves my point again, that you can, you know, you can get 9.0 plus type books for pretty reasonable prices outside of a few issues. Obviously, like issue number 1 is extremely expensive in a 9.0, many thousands of dollars, but you've got issue number 19, costs you $125. We've got 18 here. This is at 9.4. Yeah, second appearance of Dracula in title. So 18. This one I have at $175. So again, 9.4, you know, mostly black cover, cool, you know, Dracula Vampirella cover, $175. Right, now issue number 17. This is, I mean, the one that I said I just love this cover. It's the other 9.6, and this one continues to prove my point. So issue number 17 and a 9.6, about $180. I mean, I might be able to ask more, maybe. I mean, I don't know if, but like $180 for a 9.6 of this awesome cover. I mean, just awesome cover. So, yeah. Like I said, put together a high-grade Vampirella run if you wanted. All right, so issue number 11 here. This is that one that I said it might be one that I just kind of like set aside to keep as like just something from this collection. And so this is this awesome Frazetta cover, kind of like this Good Girl art, Grim Reaper type cover with the bloody scythe and everything. And so this is this just great Frazetta cover. I think his signature is kind of like hidden behind this, the Green Plague text. But I like the character design. I like the yellow and blue, kind of like in the Vampirella title. I think this whole cover just really pops. This is a pretty pricey book. I mean, high grade, Frank Frazetta, you know, relatively early in the run. This one is $550. So that's one of the only like little sticking points, is this is one of the books that's going to get me a lot of value out of the collection, but you know, still $550 is, it's for a 9.4 for, you know, a Frazetta cover like this. It still doesn't seem like it's that expensive, but yep, that is an awesome book. Now to the one that I set aside to discuss at the end here. So we've got this Vampirella annual NN from 1972, 9.6, only one graded higher. There's 198 and only one other 9.6. And this one is white pages. I looked up the 9.8. So the 9.8, and that's one of the things, like the 9.8 also has that little rub there. So that's also in the 9.8. The 9.6 has never sold publicly before, the other 9.6. So there's no picture of it, no record of it. I don't know if it's white pages or not. The 9.8 sold 3 years ago for over $3,000. It was like $3,200, I think, or $3,300, something like that. The 9.2 sold, I think, relatively recently for like $525 or $550. So I have no idea what the 9.6 could go for. I mean, I think very safely $1,500, but it could be $2,500. It could be $3,000. I mean, that 9.8, the single highest, sold 3 years ago for a little over $3,000. This one ties as second highest, and you know, with one other book. I mean, like I said, I think it could easily be over a $2,000 book, just this one. So this is really exciting. Like this actually is probably the most expensive book in the entire collection. The Vampirella #1 that came back a 7.0 is, you know, was like around $1,300 to $1,400 book. And this is, I think, easily more than that. So this is a very exciting book to have gotten back as part of this. I thought I was going to get a 9 to a 9.2, get a 9.6. That's, I mean, that's like it makes a big difference. And yeah, I'm really interested to see what this one ultimately ends up, you know, going for. Now, the other thing I did while I was looking up prices and stuff on this one, because I was interested, because this was so close to the top for this book, that I looked up to see if there was a Vampirella registry. And so if you're not familiar with CGC, there are things called registry sets. And it's where people try to put together collections of certain types of books, and they try to have, you know, the best collection that's out there. And there is a Vampirella registry set. And so different people, you know, have those. And the #1 set does not have, this is higher than theirs. I think theirs is a 9.4. So this is higher than what's in that #1 set. So if you are the owner of that set, I feel like you would probably be interested in this book. But yeah, this one, I am really excited about this. You know, Vampirella Annual NN 9.6, second highest, only one other in grade. Awesome. So this has been a lot of fun. This was all, I've now shown all the, you know, the magazines that I've gotten back as well. If you enjoyed this video, if you'd like to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. After these results, I have some other books from that collection I'm probably going to end up sending in, some from the creepy and eerie runs. I don't think there are any other Vampirella issues I'm going to send in. The rest of those are mostly in that 8 to 8.5 range, and I don't think I'm going to get them graded. Maybe there's 1 or 2 I might think about, but regardless, this has been great. I love these new CGC cases. They're so much nicer than the older ones, real clear and a lot more sturdy. So if you've been thinking about submitting magazines, I mean, the turnaround time was like 3 weeks. It used to be 250 plus business days. This was 3 weeks, so like 15 business days for just a regular vintage submission. It was really quick. So yeah, and if you've been thinking about submitting magazines, definitely, you know, much more reasonable to do it now. If you'd like to see more videos, I've got more videos over here. I've got the subscription button right here, and I will see you in the next video.